Hello, everyone. Tonight, I want to take you somewhere. A place where the walls seem to whisper. A place where the air still carries the pain of a tragedy that happened over 40 years ago. And where, in the dead of night, a woman's voice can still be heard. I hate you. You might think it was just a voice. Something from outside. A trick of the mind. A passing imagination. But what I'm about to tell you wasn't a voice at all. It was a spirit. A spirit trapped for 40 years. Crying for 40 years. Waiting for revenge for 40 years. This is the story of Raj and Divya. A couple celebrating their wedding anniversary. A new destination. New memories. A fresh beginning. But what they didn't know was that their names were about to be added to a list. A list of people who checked into a hotel and never checked out. Room 700. Turn off the lights. Sit alone. Bring your phone a little closer. Because this isn't just a story you're about to hear. It's a story you're about to feel. A few months ago, a small apartment on the edge of the city. It was late at night. A soft glow filled the room, while a cold breeze drifted outside. Raj and Divya sat across from each other at the dining table. 2 plates. 2 glasses. Candles flickering between them. It was their first wedding anniversary. I can't believe it's already been a year. Raj laughed softly. Not just a year. The most beautiful year of my life. A faint blush appeared on Divya's cheeks. Both of them smiled. Raj slid a gift box across the table. Divya opened it. Inside was a diamond pendant. Raj. Her eyes filled with tears. The two embraced. Everything was perfect. And friends, I've often thought about this. When everything in a story feels perfect, that's usually the most terrifying moment. Because it's the silence before the storm. And the storm was about to arrive. Without warning. Without a single sign. I hate you. A woman's voice echoed through the room. Both of them froze. Raj looked one way. Divya looked the other. The room was empty. It probably came from outside. Divya nodded. They tried to brush it off. But then it came again. I hate you. Now both of them stopped moving. Their hands froze. The voice hadn't come from outside. It had come from somewhere inside the apartment. Raj stood up. He checked the kitchen. The balcony. The storage room. The bathroom. Every corner. No one was there. Then it came a third time. This time, there was pain in the voice. There was rage. There was a burning desire for revenge. I hate you. Divya screamed. Raj immediately pulled her into his arms. After that night, they made a decision. They had to leave. Start over somewhere new. Somewhere far away from that voice. What they didn't know was that the voice wasn't tied to the apartment. It was following them. And it always would. A few weeks later, they planned a trip to Singapore. They arrived at the airport. Checked in. Everything seemed normal. Then they looked up at the departure board. Flight delayed, 12 hours. 12 hours. An entire night. Either spend it sleeping in airport chairs. Or find a hotel nearby. Raj glanced out the window. Directly across the street stood a massive building. Bright lights. Elegant architecture. A beautiful entrance. LTC Grand Palace. From the outside, it looked like a luxurious 5-star resort. But inside, there was a silence. The kind of silence that crawls beneath your skin. At the reception desk stood a beautiful woman. Her smile was flawless. The check-in process was quick. Then she looked up from her computer and studied the couple. "Are you two newlyweds?" "Actually, we've been married for a year," Raj replied. "Perfect. Perfect. Tonight, you'll be staying in our most exclusive suite. A complimentary gift from the hotel." Raj was thrilled. A luxury suite. For free. What could be better? Studio microphone, lower your voice even more here. But friends, whenever something comes free, the price is usually paid in another way. Which room? The receptionist paused. 1 second. 2 seconds. 3. Then, very slowly, she answered. Room 700. The honeymoon suite. A chill ran through Divya's body. Her heart pounded once, hard. Something inside her wanted to turn around and leave. But Raj was already walking toward the elevators. The numbers lit up one by one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The elevator doors opened. And Divya immediately noticed something strange. The entire floor was empty. No guests. No staff. No lights. No sounds. Just a long, silent corridor. And at the very end, room 700. The door opened. A massive chandelier hung from the ceiling. A king-size bed sat in the center of the room. Floor-to-ceiling windows revealed the city lights glowing in the darkness. Everything looked perfect. But Divya wasn't admiring the room. She was studying it. Scanning it. Every corner. Behind the curtains. The balcony. As if she were searching for something. Or trying to avoid something. Raj fell asleep. Divya stayed awake. Again and again, she felt like someone was watching her. From somewhere. From some hidden corner of the room. Eventually, around 1 in the morning, exhaustion took over. She finally drifted to sleep. Studio microphone pause for 3 seconds. Then speak very softly. She didn't know how much time had passed when she suddenly woke up. The room was dark. Only pale moonlight filtered through the windows. Still half asleep, Divya glanced around the room. And her breath stopped. Standing directly across from the bed was a woman. Motionless. Watching. Long, tangled hair. A white dress. And a face. Covered in blood. Her eyes were fixed on Divya. She didn't move. She didn't speak. She simply stared. Raj. Raj jolted awake. The woman was gone. As if she had never been there. Raj searched the entire suite. The bathroom. The balcony. Every corner. No one. Then he returned to the bedroom. And froze. The wall that had been completely clean only moments earlier now had words written across it. Dark red. Wet. Almost like blood. I hate you. The lights began to flicker. Darkness. Light. Darkness. Light. And in the darkness, they heard the voice again. This time, right beside their ears. I hate you. Room 700. Both of them knew it now. This wasn't just a voice. It wasn't a hallucination. It was a message. And it was meant for them. The next morning, they went straight to the front desk. Where is room 700 in this hotel? For a brief second, the receptionist's smile disappeared. Then it returned. Forced. Unnatural. Sir, There is no room 700 in this hotel. Divya frowned. But last night, we were told. Ma'am, you must have misunderstood. And with that, the receptionist walked away. But Divya had seen it. The fear in her eyes. The hotel was hiding something. Something big. That evening, they returned to the 7th floor. The entire floor was empty. Only one room was occupied. Theirs. At the very end of the corridor stood nothing but a wall. No door. No room number. Nothing. As if something had been sealed away. Forever. Raj crouched down and examined the floor. Dust covered everything. But within the dust, there were footprints. Fresh footprints. Someone came here regularly. Someone walked to this wall. And then left. Every single day. That night. 12 a.m. Divya woke up suddenly. For no reason she could explain. Tap. 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 A sound echoed through the corridor. Slow. Uneven. As if someone were calling her. She should have woken Raj. But she didn't. She opened the door. Peeked into the hallway. Nobody was there. Yet the sound continued. Step by step, she followed it. Moving farther down the corridor. Closer. Closer. Until she reached the wall at the very end. And then, the sound stopped. Silence. Complete silence. Divya looked down. Something was lying on the floor. An old key. Rust-covered. Ice-cold to the touch. Attached to it was a tarnished metal tag. She switched on her phone's flashlight. And read the engraving. Room 700. Her hands began to shake. If room 700 didn't exist, then what was this key for? At that exact moment. Right beside her ear. Ha. 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 A woman's laughter. Soft. Broken. Terrifying. Divya spun around. Nobody. No one was there. Then she heard a grinding sound. Slow. Heavy. Part of the wall was moving. Sliding aside. And behind it, hidden within the darkness, stood an old wooden door. 7. 0. 0. Room 700. The hotel had lied. Room 700 existed. It always had. Someone had simply gone to great lengths to hide it from the world. They stood in front of room 700. The key. The lock. The door. Creak. The door slowly opened. A blast of icy air rushed out. As if a place sealed for decades had finally taken its first breath. Time had stopped here. Old furniture. Faded curtains. Dust-covered lamps. Everything looked exactly as it had 40 years ago. And on the wall hung a large wedding photograph. 1986. Divya stared at the bride's face. There was something familiar about her. Very familiar. Then it hit her. Like a bolt of lightning. Raj. That's her. The woman I saw in our room. Bang. The door slammed shut. In the corner of the room, an old gramophone suddenly began to play on its own. Scratch. Scratch. Then a woman's voice emerged from the static. I loved him more than anything. I gave up everything for him, everything. But he betrayed me. And destroyed my entire life. Back arrow flashback, 1986. Room 700. Bright lights. Fresh flowers. Candles glowing softly. The sound of wedding music drifting through the room. Standing in the center was Manisha, a newlywed bride. Her eyes sparkled with hope. And on her lips was the kind of smile that only appears once in a lifetime. "You are my whole world." Then her husband's face changed. In an instant. Cold. Empty. Unrecognizable. "You are the biggest mistake I've ever made." The door burst open. Hotel employees entered the room. Ropes in their hands. A heavy iron lock. "Lock her inside room 700. "No. Please. I didn't do anything wrong. Don't leave me here." Bang. Door slammed shut. The lock clicked into place. And the world forgot she ever existed. Back arrow end flashback. Friends. What was Manisha's crime? She loved someone. She trusted someone. She believed in a man who had never truly been the person she thought he was. Raja's face turned pale. Divya's eyes filled with tears. Now they understood her pain. They understood her suffering. But understanding her story didn't mean they were safe. A figure appeared in the corner of the room. Manisha. And standing behind her was Divya. Motionless. Her eyes were empty. Completely empty. "Divya. Wake up." Raj rushed toward her. But Divya didn't react. She simply stood there, staring into nothing. Then Manisha spoke. Her voice echoed through the room. Broken. Filled with sorrow. Filled with rage. "She's become just like me. This room has claimed her." Bang. The door slammed shut once again. The walls trembled. The lights flickered. The temperature dropped. And Manisha smiled. For the first time. A smile that was far more terrifying than her anger. "Now. You both belong here. You'll stay in room 700. Forever." Raj threw his entire weight against the door. His hands. His shoulder. Every ounce of strength he had. It didn't move. Not even an inch. Across the room, Divya was slowly walking toward Manisha. Her eyes were empty. And the smile on her face wasn't hers anymore. It was Manisha's. Raj didn't cry. He didn't break down. Instead, he did one thing. He looked straight into Divya's eyes. And behind that emptiness, he saw something. Something still fighting. Broken. Buried deep. But alive. "Divya. Look at me. It's me. You're still in there. Fight. Please. Fight." 1 second. 2 seconds. Divya stopped. Her eyes blinked. Raj. Her voice. The real voice. Weak. Shattered. But alive. Manisha screamed. Silence. Crash. A mirror exploded into pieces. Behind it, a hidden room was revealed. The walls were covered with scratch marks. Fingerprints. Desperate signs of struggle. The evidence of years of screams. Trapped behind stone. Then Manisha stepped forward. Raj faced her. "Manisha. I know what happened to you. I know you suffered. Your pain is real. Your anger is real. But Divya is innocent. What did she ever do to you?" Silence. The entire room fell silent. For a moment. Something changed in Manisha's eyes. The hatred didn't disappear. But something else appeared beside it. Something she hadn't felt in decades. Sorrow. She's a woman too. She loves someone. The words barely escaped her lips. Divya took a step forward. Toward Raj. Then another. Manisha let out a terrifying scream. No one leaves. The room shook violently. The walls trembled. Dark shadows poured from every corner. Twisting. Crawling. Reaching toward them. Raj grabbed Divya's hand. Tight. Manisha appeared between them. If you take her, you won't survive. Raj froze. 1 second. 2 seconds. A decision that would define his entire life. Then he looked at Divya. And smiled. Life is only worth living if she's living it with me. He tightened his grip on her hand. Boom. A blinding explosion of light filled the room. Darkness. Then silence. And finally, light. Room 700 was empty. The door stood open. The corridor looked completely normal. Raj stood there alone. Divya was gone. Slowly, Raj looked down. Something was resting in his hand. An old wedding ring. Cold. Heavy. Engraved on the inside were a few simple words. Thank you, for setting me free. Raj closed his eyes. A single tear rolled down his cheek. Just one. The corridor lights began shutting off. One by one. And at the very end of the hallway, the door to room 700 slowly closed. For the last time. Forever. The next morning. Hotel lobby. The receptionist from the night before was gone. A different employee stood behind the desk. The receptionist who was here last night. Where is she? The man looked confused. Sir, our hotel doesn't have any female receptionists. Raj said nothing. He walked outside. Sunlight filled the streets. The city was awake. People were moving. Cars were passing. Life continued as if nothing had happened. But in Raj's hand, the ring remained. Still cold. At the airport, the Singapore flight was finally back on schedule. Raj boarded the plane. Took his seat. And stared out the window. Then, for a brief moment, he thought he heard a voice. A voice that sounded exactly like Divya's. Thank you. Raj closed his eyes. And whispered softly. I'll come back. Outside the window, the aircraft rose into the sky. Higher. Higher. Until it disappeared into the light. 2 weeks later. Raj finally returned home. Alone. Exhausted. He unlocked the door. Stepped inside. And froze. Sitting on the table was something he never expected to see again. The diamond pendant. The same pendant he had given Divya on their anniversary. Slowly, Raj reached for it. The metal was ice cold. Far colder than it should have been. Then, right beside his ear, he heard a voice. A voice that sounded exactly like Divya. I hate you. Raj's hand began to shake. Because this wasn't the first time he had heard those words. He had heard them before. In this very apartment. On the night of their anniversary. And now, he was hearing them again. A terrible realization settled over him. Manisha hadn't disappeared. She hadn't stayed behind in room 700. She had left with Divya. And together, they had come home. All the way home. This time, there was no hidden key. No secret door. No room to escape from. Only the voice. Waiting in the darkness. Forever. The end. Drop of blood. This was the story of room 700. A woman's suffering. 40 years of captivity. a husband's betrayal, and a hatred so deep that it survived even after death. Sometimes I wonder, what was Manisha's crime? Was it simply that she loved? That she trusted? And Raj did what her husband never could. He fought. For someone else. For love. Maybe that was all Manisha ever wanted. Someone who truly understood what real love means. If you ever stay in a hotel, and in the middle of the night, you hear a voice whisper, "I hate you. Don't open the door." If this story gave you chills, be sure to hit like, subscribe to the channel, and tag that friend who always stays alone in hotels. Drop of blood. The next story will be even more terrifying. And if you enjoyed this story, please subscribe. I'll keep bringing you more real-life horror stories like this one. Ghost Fire.